Wishes. Ellen and Hugh wish to relive our first date. Table for two? We're asked at the door. I look down at my long red dress and then over to him, a man I've known for years. I remember how silly it feels right now to be going on a date with him. But if I'd never agreed, we wouldn't have our family, and I don't think I could live without our family. She looks so beautiful. This is exactly how I remember her looking in my dreams. That red dress, the way that strand of brunette hair glides against her cheek. I never thought I'd love again after Chase, but here I was with my best friend, starting our own story together. We're seated at our table, and conversation immediately starts flowing. The wine flows just as quickly. We order our starters. We fill ourselves some bread before the starters even arrive. Then we wait for our mains. It's an Italian restaurant, so I order spaghetti alla bolognese. It only feels fitting. I order what she's having, hoping for our Lady and the Tramp moment. By the end of the meal, he's covered in bolognese sauce, and we're both full of laughter. It's the most delicious meal I've ever had, but I'm stuffed, and as much as I'd love to have dessert, I don't think I can manage it, so I call for the bill. We split the bill 50-50. We both wanted this date. It only felt right that we both pay for it. Then I take her arm and we stumble to the door with the biggest smiles on our faces. As soon as we stepped out of the restaurant, we find ourselves standing, waiting to be seated again. Table for two? We're asked again, and I look at Ellen confused. I shrug and embrace it. We had such a fun time. Why not do it again? The date goes exactly as well as it had the second time around, and again we go to leave. Again, we're brought right back. Ellen calls for the fairy, and she shows up dressed as our waitress. What seems to be the problem here? She looks me dead in the eyes, and I cut right to the chase. I'm sorry you're not satisfied with your wish, ma'am. Perhaps you'd prefer a different seat. A different seat? I speak up and tell her we've been through our date twice already, and she breaks her persona, revealing her true form. I don't get it. She throws her hands in the air and turns around, placing her finger and thumb to her forehead. You wish to relive your first date. Now you're unhappy with your wish. I'm just a simple wish-granting fairy. My whole job is to make your wishes come true, but I can't do anything right. She doesn't have to look at us for me to tell she's smirking. I demand to know what's going on, and she turns to us with a nasty smile. You asked to relive your first date. She looks between us. She looks directly at me as she says, You never said how many times. She cackles as she prepares to disappear. I grab her wrist and pull her close to me, so our noses are only an inch apart. I demand she end our wish now, and she gulps, revealing her true self. A little girl who finds satisfaction in pranking people. I let go of her and she shuffles back awkwardly. Okay, I admit it. It was a cruel twist to make. The idea of tracking you in a time loop was too much fun to pass up, but there is a way out. Ellen and I look at each other with hope in our eyes. We both ask what it is. You see, memory is unreliable, she continues. You remember the date being perfect because you're seeing it through rose-tinted glasses. If you want to escape, you have to relive the date exactly how it first occurred. She wishes us good luck and quickly leaves our sight. The coward. I look at Ellen with confusion. How are we supposed to remember exactly how it occurred? I thought we already knew. This throws everything we knew out the window. I look at him just as lost. I tell him we should finish this date and change things up the next time around, see if we can figure out the correct series of events. We follow everything the same, except we refuse our bread, which doesn't fill us up as much, so we can order dessert later on. We end up back at the start. This time we order different mains, but again that fails. Table for two? She asks for the 5th time. By this point we must have been doing this for about 10 minutes. Both of us are shattered and head to our seats. I forget to pull a chair out for her and we sit in an awkward silence, not sure what else to say. They deliver our bread and we start nibbling on it, distracting ourselves from the awkwardness. We drink loads of wine to try and loosen ourselves up, but the awkwardness never goes away. My starter arrives and I start picking at it, not really hungry anymore. It takes me half an hour to get through it. Then our mains arrive and I order what she's having. I tell him he can get whatever he likes, it's not an issue, but he tells me he wants the spaghetti, and I roll my eyes and say fine. I get sauce all over my face, and she makes a comment about how she can't take me anywhere. I look down at my feet disappointed. I feel as if I failed her. They ask if I want dessert, and assuming she wants to end the date as soon as possible, I ask for the bill. It pisses me off that he didn't ask me if I wanted dessert or not, and made the choice for me. I go to pay the whole amount, but she slams half down and gets up. I pay my half and run after her. I apologise for the awful date, and she laughs. The date truly was awful. I remember it now. We had an awful first date. I expected never to see her again after this, that our friendship was over. I tell him I'm just tired, and I'm not really a fan of his whole fancy stuff. I hate my dress, I hate my hair. I just want to chill on the sofa watching garbage rom-coms. I take her by the arm and tell her that's exactly what I want to, and we leave with smiles on our faces. As soon as we step out of the door, the restaurant begins crumbling behind us. The fairy pops up, letting off a party popper. Yay, you did it. You remembered exactly as it happened. Your wish is complete. I kiss Ellen on the cheek and return back to our living room. I look around the room at my family, and a tear rolls down my cheek. It was a truly awful first date, but without it, none of them would be here, and I don't think I can live without them.